You're listening to Beyond the Gates T, the podcast.
Welcome to Beyond the Gates T, the podcast. I'm your host, Cornelius, and that was Mr. Alex Cheeks, who plays Donnell on Beyond the Gates, and I thought it was only fitting to have him do the intro because today I'm talking to the Angela Fairley, who made such a big splash as Deanna on BTG. We talked right after she shared some scenes with her dearly departed father, Doug. This conversation was such a treat, and I hope you enjoy it.
Hello, hello. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for hopping on here and talking with me.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I love your videos. I'm so excited to meet you. It's so much fun watching everything you put on Instagram, even your personal stuff. I'm like, look at him go.
I'm just out here living. Like life is lifing. That's what I will say in a fantastic way. How are you feeling about your role on Beyond the Gates? Because I have said so many times, I think your character was the most anticipated and made the biggest splash.
Thank you. I've said it feels like I'm digesting it in phases because I'm such an actor. So the first thing when I got cast, I'm just thinking about the lines, the character arc, the story, like embedding myself into it. But I'm realizing there's so much of a bigger world and picture of being in Beyond the Gates consistently. That's being recognized consistently in Atlanta. I was recognized at Disney. And so it hits me in different waves because people also interact differently with this show than with projects I've done previously. So it's a lot of fun. And when people approach me, they'll be like, oh my gosh, like you played Deanna, and they're talking to Angela, and then they start talking to Deanna, and they're like, yeah, and your TV mom, and Vanessa, and your mom. So it's like, it becomes, I'm always partially Deanna in a sense to the world now, which is really exciting. And the first thing my acting coach told me, he's like, you realize you're Deanna now? And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm just playing the character. But I'm realizing what it means to be on a soap opera. So it's really amazing. I didn't take the responsibility lightly as soon as I started. I knew everyone had built up so much of a show already, and I just wanted to make sure that I came in and gave her justice for the audience, and then continue to build off of what all of the actors had already put their work into.
Now, I do want to talk about your character, but first, your story as an actress. You know, I feel like you've shared before Beyond the Gates, you were like not down and out, but you were just like the stereotypical struggling artist, sleeping on someone's couch, auditioning for things. Like you were really trying to make it. And yeah, I don't want to tell your story because I feel like I've read it, but like talk to me about like what you've done and the struggles and triumphs that got you here today.
Yeah, it's a good question. I've been performing in a sense at some capacity, I feel like my entire life. So I started working in a haunted house very young, just because we had haunted houses in Florida. And then I did theater in high school, which is where I really got to be exposed to acting in that process by doing theater. And then I did Thespian Society. So we did monologue competitions and performed at the district and then state level. And that was really when I wanted to pursue acting professionally. So as I started pursuing it professionally, I was just your normal girl in LA on backstage trying to get some projects because they said you had to build a reel. And I had a really good drama coach in high school. So I understood acting in the theater sense and just you get a script and you play a character. But I didn't understand the world of film and television and the politics and the process of becoming a professional actor. So when I went to LA, I was just kind of going at it like a theater kid. I was like, okay, well, I just need to audition for some things and get this reel. And then it's like, well, you need an agent and a manager and a headshot and all these things. So I was just learning as I went and kind of innocently like, okay, I need a headshot. My friend took a photo and just building slowly from there. And I was very, very lucky. And I think I didn't even realize how big it was at the time, where I think it was about 2.5 years after I moved to LA, I booked my major feature film, which was the Lifetime film where I played the main character. And that was really amazing. But I knew internally there's still so much work because once you live in LA, you realize booking a project is just a project. There is so many levels to being a consistently working actor in the industry. So even though I got to have that beautiful experience, I knew I was still going to have to work very, very, very hard. And a lot of it's not seen. I was auditioning a ton. It was before the pandemic. So I had 4 to 5 series regular auditions a week while working a full-time job and doing commercial auditions and booking most of none of them. So you don't see a lot of that work. But then, the pandemic and the fires and then the writer strike. So I was like, okay, well, let me do theater in LA since everything's on hold. So for me as an artist, I was always consistently growing, taking acting classes, private coaching to develop my art as an artist while just scruffing through figuring out how to handle the business part of it. And it really wasn't something that I could have expected for this role, because when I had the Lifetime role, I knew I had a good chance. Like, I was like, I know this character is kind of made for me. Like, I need this role. And for this one, it was, I really love what's going on here. I'm just going to put my best foot forward. And I was kind of at the space where you just got to let it go. And it was just another audition. And I just got really lucky that all of a sudden it worked out. And with the point about on the couch, I had my apartment, but those fires hit in LA and everything kind of stopped. So it was really hard. I was in between jobs, and it got really to a really close point. So I had to sublet my apartment and stay with my friend for a few months while I caught up, and I was searching for a job at the time. I could have never imagined that I would be that actor on someone's couch when I booked a role, but that's kind of how it happened.
Yeah, and there are so many stories like that. Thanks for clarifying that. I knew I had read it, but I just didn't know like the whole backstory to all of that. But that's the story of so many people, and I love that you realize that you're talented and you worked hard, but there is like a level of luck that just happens, because how many other people are talented, work hard, are as pretty as you, and didn't get the role of Deanna, right? So I love that, like you know that your work got you here, but it was just like the right moments. You auditioned at the right time. They opened up the email at the right time. It just all worked out.
It did. It did. And I feel like as an artist, I truly feel like they say like this moment, what's for you is for you, and it's going to happen when it's going to happen. People have been telling me that for years, but I wanted to be an actor so bad that it was like, but I want it now. I want it now. And I was, anyone who knew me personally, any of my roommates who have seen me day to day are like, you work so hard. It's ridiculous. Like the amount that I get done, but it still just wasn't happening for me yet. So for it to happen at this moment and now have gone through this process of being into the soap opera, dropping into this moving show, receiving all of this love and these fans, I really feel like it did happen at the right moment where I, as Angela, as a lot of actors say, was really ready for everything to happen so quickly.
Yeah.
So it's nice because I can enjoy it. It doesn't feel overwhelming. It doesn't feel too stressful or like I'm pulling my hair out. I can really just enjoy all of it and say, I'm ready. I've done the work.
Let's talk about Deanna. So we got all of this. Deanna's a little fragile. She's not coming back for the funeral. So many fans were upset about that. I'm sure whenever they're talking to you, Angela, they're like, and you didn't come back to your father's funeral? Like, they just throw out all these things at you, and you're like filming way ahead, and you're like, oh, I didn't come back for his funeral. But whenever you came onto the show, I said, this is it. Like, she's Deanna, and she's here to make a statement. So talk to me about, like, your big entrance and, this ongoing storyline with you not trusting Joey. Of course, we all know Joey is responsible for Doug's death. And you having this, you as in Deanna, having this nagging feeling inside of you, and how it's played out thus far.
Yes. So for Deanna, one thing I wanted to add is I felt like this was a unique role because I feel like Deanna belonged to the audience before she belonged to me, because she was so in the heart of the audience, in the heart of the world before I ever knew about her, was introduced to her. So that's something that's really cool for me, because usually it's like my baby and then the audience gets to join in on my process. So it's been really beautiful to step into Deanna, who's belonged to the audience, and be received for her. And I feel like Deanna has so much going on, which was what I love about her, because she comes from she's been in this insulated world. She's has so much wealth. She's had so much of a beautiful and privileged life. And this passing of her father has really crumbled everything that she knew and has probably believed in. So you're watching her basically go through this massive reality shift and processing all of these changes while she's also in college, where I'm sure she's being also introduced to a lot of new lifestyles, a lot of new people. And so I think that was really what was underneath a lot of the stakes for me, is her trying to really process everything that's happening, not only for herself, but then look at her mom like, wait, I wouldn't have expected you to make these choices, and what's going on with this man, and how can this be? And then my brother, and it's like everything in front of her and that she's known and all the people she's loved and how she's viewed those relationships have completely changed in an instant, and continues to change how they keep reacting, or how Vanessa keeps falling deeper in love with Joey. And I think that's really rocking Deanna and what she's believed in, and causing a lot of that internal conflict as she's trying to process it herself, to the depth that she's seeing that her mother and her brother may not be seeing what's happening.
Bring me back to the scenes with Jason, whenever they said, we're going to bring him back for a scene where he's telling you to look after your mom, and he's going to call you Deanna Doll. I think he said that. We find out you have a nickname. What was that conversation like? Or did you just open the script and it's like, oh, I'm going to have a scene with Jason?
So I was told a quick glimpse in passing that I was going to be having scenes with Deanna, was going to have scenes with her father. So I knew that, but I didn't know what the capacity was, and I didn't know when it was. So when I got the script and I was just reading through the script, and mind you, it happens at such a cool time because we're doing the cotillion, and that's such a beautiful moment happening. So I'm preparing all my cotillion lines. I know that's happening. And then I read the next script, and I see the moments with Jason, and I just start bawling. Like, I was in bed reading it. I just started crying. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. And so the experience for that was a lot of fun. And then the moment when I hadn't met Jason yet, I waited until he showed up for set. So I was coming out of the makeup chair and the hair chair, and I just turned the corner, and all of a sudden I see him walking down the hallway, and you hear this loud shout. I was like, oh my gosh. And I felt like Deanna for a moment, and then we hugged, and he looked amazing, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is my TV dad. And it was in that moment that I realized, because of how much it hit me as Angela, I was like, you are all Deanna talks about. Like, you really her whole world, because I realized that's all my character has been talking about as I was explaining to him. So I was really excited to jump into those scenes and be able to experience that moment as Deanna that I hadn't, because I never had scenes with him before.
Right. He didn't have scenes with any of his kids. Like, so I mean, how lucky for you that you got to do it. Alex is still, or Donnell is still under Joey's spell, but maybe he'll have a flashback scene with him or a memory scene in the future. And so many fans were so excited about that as well. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the comments, but like, because it's a soap opera, people want to imagine that Doug is still alive somewhere, but I've said it so many times, like, Beyond the Gates isn't that kind of soap opera. Like, people aren't just coming back from the dead. And so, that's the thing. They don't listen to me. They could shock me and bring him back from the dead. And then I would eat crow and say, well, I was wrong, but I don't think that's going to happen. However, people were so excited to see you with him. Now, you mentioned the cotillion. Talk to me about that. Did you even know what a cotillion was? Now, and I only ask because Naja was like, I got the script and I said, what's a dubante? I have no clue what this is. So did you know what a cotillion was and like the history behind it?
So funny enough, I actually did know what a cotillion was, because we had like a mini cotillion in my middle school. And so I hadn't thought about a cotillion in a long time, but I went to a predominantly Black middle school, and we just they had us sit down. I don't even remember how. It was some club, and we had after school. We were all sitting there. We were learning etiquette, and we were learning the do's and don'ts and how to sit. So when I found out that I was wearing the black dress, I was a little confused. I was like, I think you only wear white and pink that I've seen at the cotillion. Like I knew we had white and pink, but I wasn't sure what was happening. So to answer your question, yes, I did know what a cotillion was, but I did watch videos beforehand to remind me of it and learn deeper into the history because that was a little minute ago.
Yeah. You mentioning your black dress, there was like some fan art. I think AI made it, but whatever, different conversation. A different conversation. But people did fan art with you or Deanna and Kat together. And I had said before, well, yeah, Nicole and Vanessa are friends. So Kat, yeah, and in soap operas, they don't tell ages because, it's all nebulous. But I said they must have grown up together. And so it was so nice seeing Deanna and Kat together. How were those scenes for you? Like, did you all meet up beforehand? Did you discuss how you were going to play this? Or was it just, I got my script. Oh, I'm with Colby in these scenes. Let's just do it.
Yeah, it's a good question. So sometimes it could be either way. Sometimes we just show up and do it. But with the Cat, I think we got the scenes during when we were already filming Cotillion. So we were all on set a lot and then also working on our sides after. But that was a great chance for us because we had a lot of downtime while we were all sitting on set to film the Cotillion while they did things in between or moved lighting. Her and I did have a chance to chat and then talk about our scene that we were going to do. So there were moments in between filming where we would just find each other on set and then we would talk about it and kind of run our lines and stuff like that, which was really cool because then we got to view kind of Deanna, learn more and talk about how we viewed Deanna and Kat's relationship. And I was really excited. She was excited as Kat because there was things she got to tell Deanna that she felt like Kat needed to hear because her and Eva always have a lot going on. And there were things that I was excited about as Deanna because a lot of times Deanna's running the scene or she thinks she's running the moment with how she's talking to people. But with Kat, it was kind of like Kat was like big sister, like here's what's going on. And I really loved that for Deanna.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about your off-screen relationship with Lauren and Alex. It feels like you guys have like a group chat and you're texting each other. And Lauren's great. I absolutely love her. But yeah, how is that relationship? Whenever they brought you in, was it just an immediate connection?
Yeah, it's a good question. It happened really fast. So Lauren was really kind. She reached out and we did a Zoom chat, which is helpful to like see the people and hear them before we end up on set. And then Alex came in, so we all got to kind of meet each other. And they were just like, the set's amazing. This is how it goes. This is how many takes we do. Everyone's so supportive. It's such a family. So that was really nice and inviting. And Lauren ran lines with me before we showed up. So they have been so kind. Alex, I feel like Alex and I feel like siblings.
Yeah.
Like Alex would be like, oh, I'm going over here to eat. I'm like, well, maybe you want to put the robots so you don't spill anything on? He's like, yeah, that's a good idea. So it's like we feel like siblings. So yeah. It feels great. It's awesome. And Lauren and I chat all the time. I was just texting her yesterday. It's funny because sometimes I'll be texting her while watching the show to catch up, and then I'll hear her voice on TV, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah, yeah. So what other works, if you're doing anything else, are you working on in Atlanta, or is Beyond the Gates like your focus now? Because I will say, to move your life down there, it means that they want your character around for a bit. So if you're not doing anything else, that is fine.
Yes, right now I'm not doing anything else. I'm living my best life in my apartment, trying to do my little workouts, enjoying nature. Atlanta's beautiful. I love Atlanta so much.
Is there anything else you want people to know about the show? Things I haven't asked, things you would like someone to know about you, your social media?
I'm just really excited for Deanna's journey. There's so much going on that we've already filmed, and I'm just excited. Rock with her. I love hearing all the feedback and everything that everyone has to say. And I'm just excited.
Thanks again to Angela for talking with me. And real fast, can we just talk about the crossover episodes? They were fantastic. Absolutely loved them. No notes for me. And I have to give a shout out to the production folks because they did their big one. I was really discombobulated trying to figure out where everyone was in the country club, despite us knowing there are only 2 big main rooms. All that credit has to go to the behind the scenes folks, the directors, photographers, the camera crew, everyone who made that possible. Fantastic. And of course, the great acting by all of our faves on BTG, plus the Young and the Restless folks who came over. I got a good laugh out of people talking about how Victor Newman gave a speech and then jetted off before the tornado hit. Apparently, a lot of you watched YNR and BTG, so you were waiting for some sort of continuity, and you did get that. Like, I saw them posted on social media about how he's like, I'm safe, I'm back. While his family was worried about him back in Fairmont Crest, they were annoyed, especially Jack, I think that's his name, was very annoyed that Victor Newman, again, makes a great escape while we're all left dealing with a tornado. And if you want my take on all those episodes, go to my social media right now. I haven't done one on Friday, but that'll be up soon. Okay, that's just about everything, but I want you to know something. There are some really exciting things in the works. I will share more details later. That was my attempt at a cliffhanger. I hope it worked. As always, I love you for listening.